right, let's get to our final performer, or presenter of the night. It is Peter... What is it? Sforza. And he is going to be talking about satellite art. So let's make him feel welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here. I'm going to talk about satellite art, because satellite imagery is art. And so, getting into satellite art, what is it? Okay, here we're looking at Davi Mali in Africa. So it's both a blend of science and art. Learn these sort of technical capacities and apply them in aesthetically pleasing ways. Unfamiliar places become abstract, yet they're also real, they're maps. Here we are in the northern Sudan, the Nile River. And if you look closely, you can see how the prevailing winds have moved different minerals across hundreds of miles. We're taking satellite imagery, which goes beyond the visible spectrum. And here we're looking at eastern U.S. in spring. You can still see the frozen tundra in Canada and the greening up all the way through the southern U.S. Now, so we're using a combination of different wavelengths. So the spectrum is our palette, and the earth is the canvas. So you can see kind of the visible spectrum here. This is where the human eye can see. The satellite images often go way beyond this on either end. And so we can take advantage of that and combine those in different kind of false color composites. So Jeremy Bentham came up with this idea of the panopticon, this prison where central observatory could watch all of the prisoners at once. We can think about that in sort of the pointy end of the spear of how we use satellites today. They're giving advantage and strategic advantage. We also have the flip side. We have the human side, the human aspect. So people have been starting to capture these satellites and use the imagery to tell a story, to hold people accountable for what's actually occurring, and whether this is sort of human rights violations or environmental. Here we have Hurricane Katrina as a dragon. This is when I started really getting into this and saying, there's something special about satellite art. So Hurricane Katrina, just as it's coming into the Gulf Coast, you follow the storm up into northern Canada, we see the head of a dragon. And the power of nature, many cultures represented dragons as in that. Memories can be captured and encapsulated in these images. This was a custom piece that I did for a couple that lives here in Blacksburg. And when I delivered it, just the tears in their eyes, remembering this fond memory of going along the coastline. Humor, we can say, this is my friend who wanted a fan of Sarah Palin. This is Sarah Palin from space. You see a little bit of the Earth tank peeking in, a relative proportion of ego to Earth. Satellite imagery can be used in many ways. This was from a family vacation. My mother treated us to a wonderful week on Hilton Head, right outside of Savannah, Georgia, and this sort of captured the feelings of the ocean, and the sand, and the surf, and the land, and the swamps. You can see all the purple there. This was, after the tragedy here at Virginia Tech, people just wanted to do whatever they could, and we had this global outpouring of support for folks on campus, for folks in the region, and it was amazing. And so, right before Thanksgiving, we sent a message of thanks. Think about the messaging, trying to recapture the message. Electromagnetic radiation to the Earth, back up to bounces off the Earth, or is absorbed or transformed, goes back to these satellites, which is transmitted down to Earth, and then we can communicate that back up and send a global message of thanks to the world. So this is the full iconocene, 10 by 10 square kilometers, the Virginia Tech campus right in the dead center, and you can see the airport, the Brush Mountain in the upper left corner. So sort of a cloudy day, we were concerned. This was an amazing collaborative effort. A lot of folks came out to help. We had a helicopter and airplane, satellite image, 5,000 people on the drill field to give this message of thanks. Sessions here. This was Curious Strange and Eddie McLean, and they wrote a song. You know, people do what they're able to do. Here's a close-up from that Iconos image, and you can see we sort of had to work the imagery to subdue the clouds. It was just a wonderful outpouring of support. Trying to bring humans into the loop, into these satellite images. We can control these, we can order them, we can tax them to our purposes. The ephemeral nature of what's on the landscape. You know, we sort of prepared this fabric. We had a lot of help there. My partner Jason Tice and Mac White and a number of other folks at the Floyd Fest 10 event last year. There's a panoramic, high dynamic range panoramic image. We had satellite image and helicopter image. And so this, we formed this phoenix with the wings sort of wrapping around and forming a heart. And that was an amazing event. Here we can tell a story with satellite imagery, not just about space and a sense of place, but also time. So through the seasons, in different years, 1972, all the way up to 2009, which is about 2 weeks before I gave the series to Mr. Latham. And here, 1937, downtown Blacksburg, you can see the lyric was just constructed in that year, and opened its doors. So, you know, really connecting to the sense of place and time, and understanding where we came from, and you know, appreciating both the special characteristics of the actual place, but also these undifferentiated places that are outside of what we think of, you know, as defining a place through feeling or specific geography. So thank you very much.